Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great day today. What I want to talk to you about here today was how to quickly analyze a single family home for investment. When we had Grant Cardone on the Real Estate Nerds podcast here recently, he told us that he could actually walk inside of in under 60 seconds, be able to tell you what a certain investment would look like. And the way he's done that is be able to look at what are the bare minimum things that you need to look at to be able to vet something very, very, very quickly, right? So that's what we're going to talk about here today. So I hope everybody had a great Easter. And the biggest thing that you need to look for when you're looking for your single family home is you got to know that the area, what is the area and the average sale prices that you're looking for in that area? Because what you're going to want to know is the market. So you got to go know how are properties appreciating nearby, right? Look for your comps. You're going to need to also be able to know what is the crime rates looking like in that area? What are the rents in that area? You can look for great websites like Zillow, talk to your local realtors. Heck, you can even start banging on doors if you want to start talking to the people that are in that neighborhood. Find out from them directly what it is that they're paying for rent over there. You can also look at Craigslist to find out, who's posted in that area recently. But your realtors are going to be, your greatest benefit there. So if you have a friend that's a realtor that can get onto the public listings there, that's going to be a great way to be able to pull that data. You're also going to want to look at when you're looking at your single family home investments. Is you're going to want to look at what your cost to repair any items in the house are. So you want to do a really comprehensive review yourself. You shouldn't ever be trusting a property inspector or building inspector to be able to tell you what it is that you need to know as an investor on what needs to be repaired in a house. You got to do some of the hard work here and actually learning about all the nuts and bolts of how buildings are made, how they're put together, especially in the very beginning, because you're going to need to be able to know for your own benefit what's working, not working, what things are you going to have to replace. A lot of times these building inspectors, unless you have somebody that is also an investor themselves, isn't going to have the deep knowledge that you're going to need to be able to make sure that your margins are going to work, because they'll just generally a lot of times just say, oh yeah, it looks good, nothing catastrophic here. But you need something that's a lot more detailed as an investor. So you got to do the hard work and read at least one book on how to do building inspections and go run through that the first 2 times yourself. Now, after you do it a few times, you're going to be able to just walk into a building and be able to know like, oh, here's all the things I need to be looking for. And you're going to pick them up very, very quickly. But for those first couple of times, really spend your time, go through a detailed checklist to make sure that you're, dotting your I's and crossing your T's, so to speak. If you're going to be using a mortgage to be able to purchase your property, you're always going to make sure that you're using a mortgage calculator to be able to tell you what the repayment on that property is going to look like over time. So the way that investors typically get into trouble is that they're not really factoring in the mortgage, the taxes, the upkeep, the maintenance, all of the financial pieces. And what happens is by the time they factor all of the financial pieces in, they end up having to pay more every month than they're collecting in rent. For us as investors, that's an absolute no-go. You never want to get into a piece of property that's not going to cash flow for you from day one. And the reason why is because you need to make sure that your property is self-sustaining, because you don't know what life is going to throw at you in other categories, right? If you might lose your job and not be able to pay, the mortgage on your rental, that'd be really bad, because then you lose your job and you lose your rental. It means you lost all your down payment and all the progress you've been making there. Grant Cardone was suggesting the other day that you buy properties with having like a 65 to 70% LTV. And one of the reasons for that is to keep your mortgage payment down as far as possible, or not as far as possible, right? But to keep it down to a reasonable rate so that if the market tanks and rents go down quite a bit, it doesn't mean that you actually end up going negative on your monthly payments, right? So just to keep that in mind. Also know how strong the job market is in the area that you're buying that property overall. Are people moving there? Do they have stable jobs like in government and other areas that don't really go away if the economy shifts? Those are going to be able to tell you how stable is the rental market in that area. You've got to always anticipate saying that there's going to be an economic correction. I mean, everybody keeps talking about it, right? You got to anticipate that to be able to know that, that eventuality, could come. And if it does, what position are you going to be in? Part of that's going to be able to know like what jobs are going to stay if the economy takes a dive, right, from one way or the other. So government jobs are great things to have. Really large companies being in that town, probably, good things to look for as well. A lot of people moving to that area is a fundamental indicator of how strong that job market is, because that's just a pure demand. There's just going to be more people having to have some place to live. And when you have that, then that's going to keep rental prices up as well, guys. If you have any questions about what you can do to protect yourself while you're running your business, to protect yourself in your real estate as you own real estate, and as you're increasing your real estate empire and your way to financial freedom, we're always here to help you at Royal Legal Solutions. We're giving away free LLCs right now to all of our members. And if you like a consultation or the free LLC, all of those links are here in the comments, guys. So look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Go out there and start looking at single family deals. There's only one way to get into real estate, and that's first you have to start by actually looking at the deals and doing all the hard work into it. And if you have any questions along the way, always turn into Real Estate Nerds or contact us. I'd be happy to help you. Connect you with the members of my network that are the best real estate investors in the country dealing with single family homes.